start first with Palmer Tomes and then Anthony Dasher.
Yeah, Coach. Often been said that SEC play and non-conference play are almost two separate seasons. What do you think you learned about your team in the non-conference play that it can improve on, it can carry into SEC play? Just what do you think you learned about them?
Well, I think we learned a lot. I think we learned a lot of different ways to win games, how to overcome deficits, how to hold on to leads, how to come back, those kind of things that are so important. And we learned how to play together with each other more. But I think it also showed that we've got a lot of improvement that we have to make. We have to make improvements in the rebounding area. We certainly have got to get better in transition defense and transition offense. Our decision-making can improve. We've got to keep getting better ball movement and better cutting so that we increase our likelihood of making threes, by going inside out a little bit better. I think we've got to make sure that we understand how fast we want to play. I don't think we always understand that. And at the same time, how efficient we want to be with that. We've got to cut our turnovers back. But for 7 games, we learned a lot, and now it certainly gets ramped up as we go into this. But we've got a lot of improvement to make. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, if this was a normal season, 7 games would be beginning of December. Now we're almost in January. So it's just a different type of year, and we've just got to continue to learn best we can.
Hey, Coach, did getting the opportunity to play a bigger team here recently, like Cincinnati, give you a better feel, maybe the guys even a better feel for what they have to expect tomorrow night?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think so. But I think the physicality of Mississippi State and their inside play will be unlike anything that we've seen. So there's no doubt about that. Their guards can really score with Stewart and Malner. And bottom line, Davon Smith is playing well as a freshman. Montgomery's playing well as a freshman. But they are really, really good up front. And really good up front. So we've got to do a great job on the glass. We've got to do a really good job of moving them around. We cannot stand and watch. We've got to make hard scoring cuts. We've got to get out and play. We've got to be really, really good, challenging shots, guard and pick and roll, all those different things. But we really, really have to rebound the ball. And that's something that we did against Cincinnati, and we're going to have to really do it every night, starting with tomorrow night again.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, up next, let's have Jed May and then Davis Baker.
Hey, Coach. I guess for you, this is the third year since you've been here where you head into non-conference play with a team that's got a lot of, turnover from the year before. What, in your opinion, is different about this team and how they're gelling and coming together this year versus maybe last year and the year before?
It's hard to tell. I don't look at it like that. Every team is different. And, we don't have that. We don't have a guy right now that the scouting report from the other team says he's capable of getting 20, 25 on any given night. So, I think that's a little bit different. It's got to be, everybody's got to learn. We need each other big time. We need each other on offense. We need to be collectively together on defense. We've got to be a team rebounding team. They're a really good group of guys. But it's such a different year. It's such a different time frame. And like I said, 7 games in the past would be early December. Now we're going into league play. So it's just completely different. Not only is the team different, but the way the season is shaping up is different. So the most important thing we can do is make sure that we add what we want to add, that we keep building on whatever we feel are becoming our strengths, that we keep building on those weaknesses that we're going to have because they'll get exploited. And at the end of the day, we keep improving. And I think we have to be able to measure that improvement as we get into the league. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to learn a lot, obviously, this week. We're going to learn a lot going on the road for 2 games next week. And things that you would hopefully learn earlier because your non-conference season would be so much longer and you'd have so many different opportunities. We just haven't had that. So, again, the season is always a continual process of, are you getting better? And we've got to make sure that we are.
Hey, Coach, I know you've talked about playing collectively as an offense all season. Is that still the mindset going into conference play, or will we see you lean on certain guys more?
No, we've got to move the ball. That's how we're built. We want to play with speed. We want to get out on the break. This is not a team. We're not a pull ISO team. We're not a let's clear out for everybody team. That's got to move. There's got to be a lot of 5-man movement. And that's most important. And we're not even close there right now. We're not even close. And we probably, as a coaching staff, had about a 2.5 hour film session clinic on the floor, just ourselves as coaches today, going over some of those different types of things. Certainly not all stuff that we're going to add in for tomorrow night, but stuff that we've got to make sure that we're doing moving forward, because it's so important that we keep understanding how good our cutting's got to be, how good our spacing has got to be, how much we have to reverse it, what our ball movement's got to be like, what our passing has got to do to improve, not trying to make plays that aren't there. We've got a lot of learning to do there. So we're certainly not in any situation where it's a 1 or 2 man situation. It's got to be 5 people on that court. And then certainly there's hot hands, right? And you need to ride those. But the more that we can get 4, 5, 6 people in double figures, the better we're going to be.
All right, and for the last 2 questions, let's have Chip Towers and then Ryan Curley.
Yeah, Coach, just wondering, you've started a lot of gone from non-conference to conference. How exciting is it? I mean, what are like, are there butterflies in your stomach about, expectations and kind of finding out what you got? Or is it nervousness? You talked about the first game, you were pretty uptight about, figuring out what you have.
Well, I think it's a little bit of everything. I mean, I'm wound up and uptight when it was Columbus State on that Wednesday to open up. I mean, I don't know if it ever really matters as a coach who you're playing, when you're playing. It's just that you are playing. And certainly conference play is a different deal, especially with somebody as good as Mississippi State and somebody as good a coach as Ben Howland. But bottom line is, because it is such a different year, and because you don't have the body of work that you would normally have, there's still a lot of questions that you really don't know yet. And we're going to be learning it during conference season. So it's so important that we figure out what the game has given us that night, that we go with it, that we get good bench play, that we have guys that are ready to go in and play, that we keep looking for what's there, not trying to force what's not there, and just be as good together as we possibly can on the defense and rebounding end, because we're going to run, right? And if the break is taken away, then we go into secondary actions and things like that. What we can't do is play slowed down, right? We've got to continue to be on the attack. And that doesn't mean that we're not in half-court offense. What it means is even when we're in half-court offense, we're doing a lot of cutting, we're a lot of moving. And now as we go into a lot of bigger bodies and more athleticism, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we're going to learn a lot about our team with.
Hey, Coach, as you move into SEC play, there are a lot of prolific scorers in the conference. DJ Stewart is one of them for Mississippi State. He put up 32 against Dayton earlier this season. Is there any focus in practice and in the game plan in stopping guys like that?
Oh, absolutely there is. Absolutely. Yeah, we're well aware of how good he is, where he likes his shots, what he likes to do. But like everybody else in this league, you might have leading scorers, but you've got really good teams, and they have a really good team. So bottom line is they have a lot of guys that can score. They can play inside, outside. They can shoot threes. They can come off the bench. They can play with speed. They can pound you inside. They can run the break. So we've got to be well-versed in a lot of different things, but we're certainly well aware of him and what those guys create.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.